right, we are moving now to solving equations by elimination, day 2. So far, elimination, we know that both equations have to be in standard form because we are trying to eliminate either x and y or y. So in the beginning of the note, so day 1, it was pretty easy to figure out which one we are going to eliminate because they give it to us. Okay, if they both not in standard form, just remember that we have to switch them to standard form. They both have to be in standard form. Well, day 2 goes to what happens when we don't have any numbers that we can eliminate. That means that you have to create those numbers, okay? And it's going to be 3 different ways to do this, okay? Sometimes you're going to have an easy way, which you're just going to have to multiply. So one of the numbers could be negative or positive, right? You also are going to be looking at which option works best because you want to be working smarter, not harder. So instead of changing both of the equations, you're probably going to change one. And then we're going to get to the hard part, which is changing both of them. I think that's one of the ones that everybody gets confused on. So hopefully we can pay attention and understand the video for today. Okay. So let's get started. So again, we're looking at question number 1 and making sure that both of them are standard form. And as you can see, they both are in standard form. I have x and y on the left, x and y on the left for the second equation. All right. To be able to cancel x or y, there's 2 things that you have to remember. You have to have the same number for both equations, and one has to be negative, one has to be positive. That's the only way you can cancel something. So for example, positive 2x with negative 2x. The top is positive, the bottom is negative. They both have the same number, which is 2, so we can get rid of it. Okay, that's what I mean by the same number for both equations, one negative, one positive. All right, as you can see for number 1, I have a negative 2 on top and negative 4 on the bottom. They do not have the same number, and one is negative, the other one is negative. All right, let's move on to the y. I have negative 9 and negative 9. I do notice I do have the same number. However, one is negative and the other one is also negative. I need to make one positive. You can work with whatever equation you want. You want to switch this 9 to a positive? Go ahead. Or you want to switch the bottom one to a positive? Go ahead. We only need one of them to be positive. I already have a negative 9. I just need a positive 9. So I am going to work with the second one. For this video, I'm going to work with the second one. To convert this negative 9 to a positive 9, I need to multiply by a negative 1. Okay. However, since we're switching that number, we also have to switch the rest of the numbers for that equation. So I am going to do distribution. Negative 1 times negative 4 gives me positive 4x. Negative 1 times negative 9 gives me positive 9y. Negative 1 times negative 23 gives me positive 23. All I'm going to do now is bring the the first equation that I didn't do anything to it. I'm just bringing it down to the new equation that I made. So negative 2x minus 9y equals negative 25. Again, I just bring it down. I didn't do anything to it. Just bring it down. Now you can go ahead and eliminate y. As you can see, y, now I have positive y and negative 9y, which goes away, cancels out. 9 minus 9 gives me 0. What are you going to do for the rest of them? The same thing what we've been doing. You're going to add. So 4 minus 2 gives me 2x. And 23 minus 25 gives me negative 2. We're going to solve for x by dividing by 2. So x equals negative 1. Don't forget that my answers always have to be in coordinate points. So all you're going to do now is plug in the value of x for one of the equations, okay? I'm going to work with this equation. I have negative 2x minus 9y equals negative 25. And again, it doesn't matter which equation you use. What are you going to use? Plug in the value of x for x, okay? So I have negative 2 times negative 1 minus 9y equals negative 25. And all you're going to do is solve for this, solving an equation. First thing you have to do is multiply this -2 times -1, which gives me +2. Minus 9y equals -25. All right, to solve for this one, I need to get rid of 2 by subtracting 2. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do it to the other side. So now I have -9y equals -27. All right, and then after that, I need to solve for y by dividing by -9. So 27 divided by 9 gives me +3. So my answer, I have both of them. Don't forget, we write them as coordinate points. So my final answer is going to be -1 and 3. That's my answer for this problem. Once again, you create the same number for both of them. If they give you the same number, all you have to do is switch one to negative or switch one to positive. That's it, okay? That one's a little bit easy because, as you can see, all I had to do was multiply by -1, okay? The next one, once again, they're both in standard form. As you can see, for x, I have a -4 on top, a +1 on the bottom. Don't forget, we have an imaginary 1. You have a 9 on top, a 3 on the bottom for y. And so, as you can see, they don't have the same number on top or the same number on the bottom, right? However, you always want to work with the equation that has a variable by itself because it's really easy to change that. So for example, I'm going to work with the second equation because, as you can see, x has 1, but I can easily change that to a to a +4 by multiplying by 4. Okay, and again, why am I multiplying by 4? Because I have a -4 on top, so I need a +4 on the bottom. So again, I'm just going to be rewriting this one over here. I didn't do anything to it. -4x plus 9y equals 9. What am I going to do to the next one? I'm going to multiply. 4 times x gives me 4x. 4 times -3 gives me -12y. And don't forget, a lot of people forget this part. You also need to multiply the last number. 4 times -6, so equals -24. Okay, now that you have both of them, now we can go ahead and add them. And again, as you can see, I did -4 and +4, so this cancels out. 9y minus 12 is going to give me -3y. And then I have 9 minus 24, which is going to give me -15. Solve y by dividing by -3. And so y equals +5. There you go. Once again, we've been practicing over and over again. My answers have to be in a coordinate point, so I need to find x. How do I do that? Use one of the equations. I'm going to use this one on top. I have -4x plus 9y equals 9. I'm going to plug in what I know for y, which is right here, and I know y equals 5, so I'm going to substitute it. So now I have -4x plus 9 times 5 equals 9. Multiply the numbers because I need to multiply the parentheses first. So I have -4x plus 45 equals 9. To solve for x on this one, I need to get rid of 45 by subtracting 45 to both sides. So now I have -4x equals -36. To get x by itself, I need to divide by -4. So x equals +9. So again, I have my two answers. I wrote them as a coordinate point. So my answer is 9 comma 5. That's my answer for this. So for this one, make sure, again, do the easy way. You could have multiplied the top and the bottom, okay? But I noticed that x was by itself, and it's really easy to change any letter by itself to whatever number I want. So please also make sure that when you have equations, you're looking for the easy equation to work with. Which one is the easiest? When x or y is by itself, okay? You're only going to do one step, which is multiply one equation. Okay, now we're going to get to those problems where I'm telling you, you're going to have to multiply both equations. Because as you can see for number 3, I have 5 on top, 3 on the bottom. They're not like terms. They're not the same. Now I have both of them being positive, so it's not going to work. For the y, I have 4 on top, 6 on the bottom. Is also not going to work. Why? Because they're not the same number, and both of them are positives. Therefore, I need to change both of them. But here's whatever you want, okay? You can change x or you can change y. It doesn't matter, okay? So let's do x for this one. Find, remember, we need the same number on top and the bottom. You need the same number, so that means I'm going to multiply 5 times 3. 5 times 3 gives me 15. That means I need a 15x on top, 15x on the bottom. It doesn't matter, okay? Remember, one has to be negative, one has to be positive. So if I have a 5x and I need a 15x, what am I going to do to this 5? Well, I need to multiply by 3. But remember, if I multiply 3 times 5, it gives me a positive 15. So the bottom one has to be negative 15, so I can cancel them. I have a positive 3. What am I going to multiply to get negative 15? I'm going to multiply by negative 5. Okay? So here we go. I'm going to switch this over here and then switch this one over here. 3 times 5, I told you right now, we just did it, 15x. 3 times 4 plus 12y. Okay, don't forget that last number. 3 times 14 gives me negative 42. Okay, let's do it again on the bottom. Negative 5 times 3 gives me negative 15x. Negative 5 times 6 gives me negative 30y. Negative 5 times 6 again gives me negative 30. Alright, once I have switched, now that you can see that we have the same number on top and the bottom for x, because again, we were working for x, these cancel out. You add the rest of them. So 12 minus 30 gives me negative 18y. And negative 42 minus 30 is going to give me negative 72. You divide by negative 18, so y equals 4. All right, so that's one way to do it. And let me show you how it doesn't matter if you do the other way. So again, this is, we multiply both of them by to get x and cancel x, okay? But I just told you, you can do y. If you want to do y, you do the same thing, okay? You're asking yourself. Okay, well, I have 4 and 6 on for y. Multiply 4 times 6 to get the same number, because I know I will get the same number. 4 times 6 gives me 24. I need a 24y on the top and a negative 24y on the bottom. To get a 24y on top, I will have to multiply by positive 6. To get a negative 24y on the bottom, I will have to multiply by negative 4. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do it again. 6 times 5, and again, I'm putting that one right here. 6 times 5 gives me 30x. 6 times 4 gives me positive 24y. 6 times 14, negative 14, sorry. It's going to give me negative 84. Do the bottom one. 4 times 3, negative 4 times 3 gives me negative 12x. Negative 4 times 6 is going to give me negative 24y. Negative 4 times 6, again, is going to give me negative 24. As you can see now, I can add them. We were multiplying by 6 and negative 4, so I can cancel y. And as you can see, I was able to cancel y. Both numbers are the same. One is positive, one is negative. You add the rest of your numbers. 30 minus 12 gives me 18x. And 84, negative 84 minus 24 gives me negative 108. Divided by 18 gives me x equals negative 6.